All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite TV shows. This one is all about love and marriage, DC edition. So if this is your first time, listen, we're glad you found us. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
And we will see you in the comments. And again, what's up to our KT squad? Thanks for stopping back by again. All right. So, this whole thing as far as
the
fights and all that. So we start off the episode. Quick has been having some issues with his wrist, right?
Right.
And so as a DJ, kind of important.
Yes, to have a hand.
You can't without your wrist, right? So he's going to the doctor, and basically it was because he said he got to a point where he couldn't even tie his shoes.
Right. I mean, because I was like, does he have carpal tunnels?
Right.
Like, because when you're using it in the same motion, and he did have 14 events in one weekend.
Right.
My God, man. So it got to a point where it was swollen. His fingers were swollen and different things, which I would be worried too, you know. And it looked like it was his right hand, right?
Yeah.
So that was his dominant hand.
Yeah. So doctors basically say, like, so there is definitely, we see some inflammation, potential inflammation. Could be gout or arthritis.
Right.
She was like, you might have to limit your alcohol, which his wife was like, yeah, that might be a good plan. But then, she's like, well, you might have to wear a brace for a little while.
He's like, I'm not doing that. Matter of fact, I came here and paid you to not do anything you just told me. So he literally like, what if I don't do anything you said? She was like, okay, you won't work. Okay, you won't be able to use your right hand and you won't be able to work. So are you going to take my advice or not take my advice? And I was like, dude, like, you don't want your right hand? Like, why are we here? Oh, this is about me because I'm saying it, So she was trying to really get on him about how serious this was.
Right. And, just, I'm kind of preaching to myself in this, but basically take care of yourself, right? Get to the doctor, follow the doctor's instructions, let them figure stuff out. That's what I'm kind of going through right now. It's just getting some information from my doctor, helping me to be better, live longer.
So that means you're going to do what he says?
No. Okay. I just paid him to go there and tell me some stuff, but no. Of course I'm going to listen. I'm listening. All right. So putting it all on blast.
Well, that's what the episode was.
Yes. So, and even Ashley was like, look, you can't be feeling on my booty.
Right.
Without your hand.
With one hand. With one hand. She's like, you need both hands for this. Talking about he going to use his lips.
Hey. So then Arena and her daughter, they go out for dinner.
Yeah.
And they kind of talk just through, because remember last episode, there was a whole, I think it was just a big misunderstanding, miscommunication, because they both were having some issues with their events.
During the day, right. And they were frustrated.
They were frustrated. They took it out on each other.
Right. Pretty much.
But they do talk about, how Jamie sometimes handles conflict and how he operates sometimes. So
and just having that daughter-mother time together. So I'm excited to see that. I love their dynamics. So.
Yeah. So then Quick and Ashley are like, okay, we're going to have Chris and Monique over. We're going to have real food, and then we're going to get them some vegan takeout.
They're like, look, we are not bougie like that. We are going to sit at the dining room table, but this is going to be takeout. There's not going to be anyone passing them any drinks except for what they get themselves. Yep. We just don't flow like that. You don't have
DoorDash just left before they pulled up. Yep. Right. No shame in their game.
No shame in their game.
So they start recapping. Monique starts recapping the Ashley event, right?
Right.
And Quick is like, yeah, winter just came. I don't know if you caught it, but he was like, winter just came and started a mess. Because it was, again, I think for Quick, he's like, it was my wife's event.
Right.
It was her thing.
But it wasn't really winter because Monique brought it up.
True.
So, like, the way the scene is cut, it was like, it was so long they had to keep splicing it because she just kept going on
Right.
and on and on. And Ashley's like, I thought we were just going to hang out, have drinks, have fun. Why are we still bringing up this lady?
Well, but I get that, but if you don't rock, if Winter doesn't rock with Ashley, why show up at her event?
I'm assuming somebody invited her.
Monique invited her, but you can say no. It is okay to be like, you know what?
Right.
Me and Ashley don't really get along. I'm gonna let her have her event.
Pretty much, they kind of had like at least squash because they did meet for lunch. They kind of like, okay, we're gonna be cordial with one another.
Okay.
And then Monique started bringing up, well, I met with Winter, and Winter said all this. So Monique started the conversation, if you don't recall.
No, I know that.
She started the conversation, and then Winter's like, oh, I just walked in the trap, not expecting all this to go down right now.
I get that, but I'm just saying, if I ain't rocking with nobody, rocking with the person it's their event, you can invite me. I can bow out, especially if
she's rocking with the show.
Yeah, well, okay.
So.
We'll talk about what her role is in a moment. All right, so but Ashley and Quick, they're like, we really don't want to talk about this, and Monique is just. So
Monique thinks that she can fix everybody.
Yeah,
and that's a problem when you feel like you're the one that has to fix everything. You know, I think that puts you in a position where you're not going to make anybody happy, or you're able to bring a resolution to other people's problems.
Right.
So,
but Monique said something. I was like, no, they're not looking at it like that, because she was like, I don't want them to look at me and Chris as bringing drama and having problem. No, girl,
it's not Chris.
They looking at you. They're not looking at Chris. Chris is over in the corner chilling. They not looking at Chris as the issue. You the issue in this one, right?
Right.
And so Monique is still sticking up for Winter. Still like, well, I just don't understand. You know, she's not normally like that. She doesn't normally do this.
She don't cause drama. And Ashley's like, whose side are you on? Or pick a side.
Right.
You know, because you're not working the middle well. She's like, you are not working this middle well at all.
At all.
And Ashley's like, I was aggressive, Ashley, and I could be that way.
She's like, that's who I am.
That's who I am. I know who I am.
Yep.
I'm confident in who I am. And guess what? I'm fine with who I am.
Yep.
And Winter's not going to change that. Winter ain't going to make this better. Winter ain't going to make this worse. She's like, if I don't even see Winter,
I'm good.
I'm good. If I never have another Winter in my season, I'm good. But if Winter shows up in my season, I'll stay inside.
Yeah, basically. So then Winter, and then they do kind of talk about they want to do an intuitive healing session with all of the couples.
Right, because Monique says her energy and she touched my energy. Listen, I don't believe in that type of energy. But anywho, that's me personally. But Monique was like swearing by it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, what is that? Where does that happen? Right. Okay, I'm open to that. Right. So that's how they kind of got to the point where there's like, let's think about something else. Yeah.
So we see Winter with her kids. Mm-hmm. And she talks about her son's hair. And her son is like, I done had this for like a week.
Like, you haven't seen your child in a week. What is going on? I mean, I get sometimes you're passing like a night and shit, but when they're young teenagers, I'm assuming he probably
they still live in the house.
17, 18.
You go see over the course of a week. You telling me you haven't seen them at all? I don't know.
She just maybe she overlooked his hair.
Possible. But then her kids are like, she starts, talking about how the divorce has been served and everything. Yeah. And the kids might need to take over the relationship coaching business, because the kids were like, yeah, we kind of saw that.
Yeah. I think kids, they pick up things very well. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they have to grow up faster than we had to grow up.
Right.
And her daughter, which is great to see this, is that she's like, Mom, these are all the signs of manipulation. You were being manipulated. Mm-hmm. And as any child wants to do, they want to protect their parent, right? And so she was like, I don't believe it was your fault. You were manipulated. He was bombing you all these gifts and, sweeping you off of your feet and blah, blah, blah. And so I get what she's getting at. But at the same time, it's like, I think this is where Winter needs to look on the inside of her and say, why did I need those things? And what made me decide to get in a relationship and lose sight of I hate to say reality, but of the fact that this person is just wooing me with all these gifts and different things and taking me where,
And we haven't seen their house.
And you haven't had an opportunity to really get to know them before you decide to marry them.
Vetted them, right?
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
I just, yes, I hear what her daughter's saying.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, and Winter could probably say that we're victim shaming too. I just think that there's, we're not victim shaming. We're just simply saying that there are flags that you should have seen, could have seen. This isn't like he led a completely double life. You didn't investigate his life.
Well, I believe that people can put on a front.
Absolutely.
To a flaw where, okay, it's hard to determine who they are, but at the same time, be okay with slowing down. Be okay with, because people can pretend like they could lease a car, they could be in someone's house and say it's theirs, and you don't, I'm not looking up deeds.
If she had investigated that, I'd be like, yeah, he pulled one over on her. But she didn't. From what she said, what we've gotten from her is she didn't investigate those things that are, to me, just that's the start of the application. The application for any job is going to ask you your name, your social security number. It's going to ask you for your address. So it's asking the basic information, and it sounds like she didn't get the basic information about this person.
I think she just didn't spend enough time, and she just went too fast, too soon.
Getting the basic information.
That's because she could have gave the address. She could have gotten his address.
And done a drive-by and seen that there was 4 cars in there.
Shut up.
3 of them with handicap stickers in there.
Well, he could have said it was his house and that his parents lived with him.
All these are great couldas, and if those couldas happen, awesome. But from what she's saying, none of these couldas happened because she was just like, oh.
And that's what I'm getting at, right? Those are the things that you have to self-reflect, because there are people out there who want to trust people at what they say.
I get that.
And back in the day, we didn't have the technology now to put people's credit reports, or you got to get their social security, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. So I'm saying, I get where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there was something within her where she rather just receive all this attention, and she liked getting all the gifts, and she wanted someone to take care of her, that she's like, instead of saying, you know what, this is going too fast for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting her mother even said like, oh, why don't you give him a chance? Because she did indicate, let's be really clear, on one episode that she did felt like there was a red flag or two,
mm-hmm.
but her mom was co-signing, saying you should give him a chance. So I'm just saying, it's deeper than what they're sharing.
We can move on from that because all right. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying. All right. So Ashley, Monique, and Winter have a dinner meeting, what have you, right? Ashley's like, I really don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Winter comes in after Ashley and Monique are seated, and she has some issue that, again, she comes in and people are already seated at the table without her.
Yeah, I'm like, were we supposed to wait at the door, like go in together? She always gives this thing like she's being ambushed. But I'm assuming why you were coming.
Right.
It wasn't a surprise that Ashley was going to be there.
No.
So just take it for what it is.
Yeah. So Winter says that essentially the miscommunication came from Monique trying to help and fix, which is actually very true.
Mm-hmm.
Winter told some of the story a little differently than the way it went down.
Of course.
And then again, the telephone game, Monique told the story of what she got from Winter, and it was just all misconstrued and discombobulated and just jacked up.
Right. And Winter made a very good point. Monique, I was telling you this in confidence. This was not for you. I didn't tell you to go and be my bodyguard. I didn't tell you to go protect me. I didn't tell you to fix anything for me. I just needed you to be there as a friend.
And to listen.
And for some reason, you feel like this is something you got to do. Like, this is your badge.
Right.
She's like, I just need, and then she's like, well, I guess you guys shouldn't share this with me, and it's best for y'all not. And they were like,
I got you.
I got you.
Yep.
You're not the one I'm gonna come to.
I understand that assignment.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I got you.
I won't talk to you about what's going on in this circle.
Right. Yep. So Ashley was like, at first I didn't have any ill feelings towards you, Winter, but now.
Oh, I'm starting to feel some way.
I got some feelings towards you, and they ill. They are sick. They got flu game feelings. They are COVID-19 feelings towards you. I just ain't feeling you.
Ashley, I like anyone who's gonna be real.
Ashley authentic.
I mean, if you want to talk about somebody, a real chick, like, you know how she feels about you, you gonna come correct, you gonna come correct.
When there's no guessing about it.
There's no guessing.
Like, there is no, I wonder how no, actually, I ain't feeling you.
And she's like, can we get it all out? Let's get this all out here.
Because I don't want to hear nothing.
I don't want to hear nothing else about this or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting you know how I feel about you today.
Yep.
And probably I'm going to feel like this tomorrow.
Yep.
And let me know, is there anything else that's lingering?
Yep.
Anything that possibly in the air? I need to know right now before I get away from this table.
Yeah. Because basically, Winter did apologize. So she did apologize.
Yeah.
You know, she did apologize.
So I'm not trying to stir nothing up.
Monique and Winter both recognize that they need to work on their storytelling skills.
Mm-hmm.
Winter does say she's good.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's like, that's cool. We still ain't friends. And I'm out on that. But
on that note,
we still ain't friends. I'm gonna let Winter and Monique, I'm gonna let y'all work on y'all friendship.
Right.
But this ain't working. We ain't friends.
Right. Again, she made it very clear you do not have to guess how she felt when she left the table.
Not at all.
She was like, okay, we're not friends. Y'all need to work on y'all relationship before you start building any new relationships. Yep. And I'm going home to my husband and my kid.
And it's all good. Thank you for the meal.
Thank you for the meal.
Great time out with y'all.
Right.
I'm gone.
I'm gone.
And I better not keep my name out your mouth.
Pretty much.
That's basically how I actually rock it. All right. So then all of the couples go to the intuitive healer. Monique and Chris, who have used this intuitive healer
in the past
/ life coach. Jamie and Arena are both like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. I don't know what's about to happen here.
Right.
I don't know what spirit's about to jump on me.
You got me in Bethesda, Maryland. Out here with all these folks.
And then they're sitting in a cave of salt.
Yes, salt cave. I've heard
Himalayan salt.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'd be scraping some off, seeing if I can put it in my seasoning. That salt's kind of expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be in there as she got her back turned, scraping some off.
That's just
All right, anyway. So they, she does kind of do have a conversation about each of them, right? She starts off with Jamie as far as what we can see. And according to Arena, pretty accurate.
Right.
Jamie even later on kind of agreed that, yeah, she's kind of spot on as what she said.
Right.
Quick, the issue with his mom dying and his dad. So those were, and so that he begins to expect bad news. And that's kind of how he operates.
Right. And he's been using his job as a coping mechanism, right? He wanted to show that his dad was right about him getting his hustle,
right,
taking care of his business, DJing, and seeing how that's gone over the course of life, where he's been successful because he's been able to make money and to take care and manage his whole family. It was almost like he was like presented as the elder brother, you know, to help the rest of the family.
That's kind of the role he's kind of taken on. So yeah. And then there was something that she said about Chris living through Monique. And Chris was like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see that, not necessarily living through the things that she's passionate about, but I want to kind of move into coaching, so kind of moving towards that. Monique takes that and flips it essentially again, where it's kind of centered around her.
I'm like, how are you going to tell a man how to receive a message that someone else is presenting to him and telling him, oh, no, you're getting that all wrong. That ain't not about coaching. That's not about coaching. That's about me and what I'm doing, and you trying to do something with me and what I'm doing. And Chris is looking at her. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so this is your problem. Is that you're trying to influence, and this is all about you and making it about you. And wonder why Chris is confused. Because until he says, I'm sorry, you can't tell me how to think and how I can reflect when someone else is speaking to me, how it's affecting me.
Right.
I want to do something, and coaching is something I want to be passionate about.
Right.
Because the man did something extraordinary.
Yes.
There's not...
He was in the league for some years and successfully in the league. Right?
Yes. And I mean, that's a very small percentage.
Right.
So he's retired now. Like, he's did his job. He's a retired player. And when they retire at 35, they do a lot of different things.
Right.
And so far, right now, he's just home with his kids because in that kind of, my understanding, in that kind of environment as a player, you're gone most of the time.
Right.
So I'm starting to see how she just making this like, oh, he's just at home.
It's like, yeah, but he was gone for the most of the time, and now he's trying to adjust because it's a lifestyle adjustment.
It's a lifestyle adjustment.
You've gone from where you are training, conditioning, recovery, all of those things.
You're on the road.
All of those.
You're playing. I mean, like, I've heard a lot of the players indicate, like, even in your off season, a lot of times you're not off.
Right.
Where then you know, maybe you take that time.
You still got to get your job back for the next season.
Right. Then you have to start back up conditioning. So when you go to mini camp and you start going in the camp before the season start, you can never know where you could be like, your name could be called, you could be gone.
Yep.
And all the pressure and the stress of that all, I was like, you're not taking, it seems like she's not taking into account those things when he's in this part of his life.
Yeah.
So
so then Arena, she said something to Arena as far as just kind of her emotional well-being, where she was. And it hit her.
Yeah.
Hit her hard, right?
Yeah, hit her hard.
And Jamie's just sitting there like,
Jamie patted like, cut it out. No.
Oh, he didn't pat.
No.
This would have been helpful.
This would have been, that's because you're consoling me.
Right.
He was like, shit. Like you tell a kid, like when you're in a place where you don't even like, no.
You know how some of your parents did y'all in church when you was acting a little out, and they was like, "Look, sit your behind down, shut your mouth, don't say nothing."
But the person there was like, "Okay, I see that. That's not what she needs right now.
Right.
That's a part of her feeling like she has to be perfected, that she can't show her emotions.
Right.
And where is that coming from? From you, where sharing that emotion there." And he was like, "Oops, my bad." I was trying to, and even Arena was like, "I needed you to put your arms around me.
Right.
I needed you to
comfort and
console me because it was hitting me, and I should be able to show my expression."
Yep.
And I think it's unfortunate because this is where we come into the mental health aspect, and we can say it's the Black community. But at the end of the day, we've been told that we have to be strong. Right. We can't let anyone allow to see our emotion, and that we have to fight through everything. We got to be stronger. We got to be better, And I think a lot of that comes from there, where we just need the opportunity to have a safe space to show our emotion,
Exactly.
So.
Agree. And then Quick meets with his brothers at their dad's gravesite. And so kind of just checking in with him, because you kind of get the feeling that Quick, like we said earlier, is kind of like the glue that's kind of holding things together with his brothers, right?
Yeah.
And just talking through whether or not, their dad being proud of them and different things. Even reading the letter from his mom when she kind of let them know that she was, very ill or what have you. So it was great to see, again, just outside relationships that they have
Right.
going and
Right.
things of that nature. So,
And him trying to say, I want to spend more time with my, spend more time with my brothers. It's like, I don't know how we can do that. Them hanging out with me sometimes, but sometimes it's just making it work. Because when you're always trying to use things to cope, you kind of want to forget the world
Right.
and realize that there's people that love you that can help you through, all these emotions that you're just holding on to.
and even them helping him maybe with some of his events and stuff. Just
Right.
whatever way,
Whatever
even
way
just they can
participate.
relieve some of that stress of him.
Right.
So,
Because he said something and I was like, oh, wow. Here again, his father told him not to cry at his mother's funeral.
Right.
And that's again where we feel like men cannot share their emotions.
Mhm.
At any time, if he needed to grieve, it's best to go ahead and get it out there,
Right.
where you have family around.
Then hold that bottled up for 10, 20, 30 years later.
Yes, because he busted out crying right there
Yeah.
at his father's grave. I was just like, nah, so much misinformation.
Yes. All right, so that's it for this one. Again, listen, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications. We got this show. We're doing, Love Match Atlanta is another show. And then we got some other things in the works that we're thinking about and trying to get going. So definitely make sure you do that. And we'll see you all next time. Have a great one.
All right.
Be blessed.